From the very beginning, my life has always felt divided between two separate worlds. The bright, chaotic halls of the high school where I teach, and the quiet, fragile balance of my life at home. My name is Sally, a high school teacher who pours her heart into shaping young minds, even on the days when patience runs thin and the pile of papers looks endless. Teaching is no simple task, but it fills me with meaning. Every day becomes a rush of lesson plans, students calling out for attention, and late nights spent grading assignments while sipping tea that has long gone cold. When I'm not in my classroom, I'm with my husband, Alex. We've been married for 3 years now, slowly building a life filled with love, laughter, and all the ordinary ups and downs that come with being married. But one problem always follows us like an unwanted shadow: his mother, Linda. The moment Alex introduced me as his girlfriend, I knew earning her approval would be impossible. Linda's tight smiles, sharp eyes, and polite but not really polite remarks made it clear she didn't think I was worthy of her son. Over time, her disapproval evolved from silent judgment to sweetly delivered insults. Family gatherings became the hardest part of my month because pretending everything was fine felt more exhausting than my longest school day. Today was yet another one of those dreaded monthly dinners at Linda's home. The second Alex and I stepped inside, unease twisted in my stomach. The air was thick with forced politeness and hidden criticism. Linda greeted me with her usual overly cheerful voice. "Ah, Sally, that dress is interesting." She looked me over like a teacher dealing with a student who forgot their homework. Alex's relatives filled the living room, chatting in small circles. The atmosphere hovered between welcoming and tense, just like Linda's attitude toward me. Soon we all gathered around the large wooden dining table. Glasses clinked, voices overlapped, and I tried to blend in without standing out. Then came the food. A plate was set down in front of me, a piece of fish that looked questionable and smelled even worse. Alex received a generous plate of hot, fresh chicken, completely different from the suspicious meal in front of me. I leaned closer and the odor hit me harder. Something was definitely wrong. "Linda," I said carefully, "could I maybe switch to the chicken? The fish smells off." Without hesitation, she replied sharply, "Sally dear, I made that fish especially for you. You prefer lighter meals. It's perfectly fine." Trying to keep the peace, I managed a nervous smile. "Thank you truly, but I think it may be spoiled. If there's any chicken left, Alex finally stepped in. "Mom, maybe Sally can have some of mine." But Linda dismissed him with a wave. "No. She needs to eat what she was given." "Sally, you're being incredibly rude. Just eat the fish." Whispers spread around the table. Eyes shifted toward me. Uncle Joe, hoping to ease the tension, spoke kindly. "Maybe just try a small bite, Sally." Feeling trapped, I lifted my fork. The fish felt mushy, completely wrong. My heart pounded as I raised it to my mouth. "There you go," Linda said, her voice cutting through the room. "She's finally behaving." I took a bite and instantly regretted it. The taste was terrible, rotten, sour, impossible to swallow without gagging. My face twisted and under the table Alex squeezed my hand. My stomach churned violently. "I'm sorry. I need a moment," I said, standing abruptly. My chair screeched across the floor. The second the bathroom door closed behind me, I threw up. The sound echoed against the tiles, and I knew the family had heard at least some of it. When I returned, pale and trembling, half the room looked worried. The other half avoided my eyes. Aunt Mary stepped closer. "Sweetheart, are you okay? You look awful." But Linda's voice sliced in. "Oh please. So dramatic. Sally always has to make everything about her." Alex stood so quickly his chair nearly toppled. His eyes were furious. "Enough, Mom. We're leaving." The drive home was silent at first. Every bump on the road felt like a reminder of the humiliation, and the rancid taste still lingering in my mouth. Finally I spoke. "Alex, we need to talk about what happened." He tightened his grip on the steering wheel. "I know. I'm sorry, Sally. I should have stopped her sooner. She tried to force me to eat spoiled food, Alex. And she humiliated me in front of everyone." His voice was tense. "She's always been controlling. I thought if you took a bite she'd back off. I didn't think she'd go that far." "It's not just the fish," I said quietly. "It's how she treats me. It keeps getting worse." He nodded slowly. "You're right. I've been putting it off because she's my mom. But you're my wife. I should have protected you for the rest of the drive. We talked about what needed to change. By the time we pulled into the driveway, Alex looked determined. I'm calling her tomorrow, he said. We're setting boundaries. This can't continue. Thank you, I whispered, squeezing his hand. The next day I watched as Alex paced with his phone. He dialed his mother, and though I only heard his side, his tone was firm. Mom, we need to talk about last night. No, it wasn't okay. Yes, Sally is my wife. We won't come over if this continues. When he hung up, his face was tired but resolute. She's upset, but I think she heard me. That conversation changed everything. It wasn't just about defending me, it was about protecting our marriage. It felt like the start of something new, something healthier. 2 weeks later, Alex and I agreed to visit Linda and talk face to face. As we walked to her door, he squeezed my hand, a silent promise that we were in this together. Linda greeted us with a cautious smile. We sat in her perfectly arranged living room, tension filling every corner. Alex began. Mom, the way you treated Sally at dinner wasn't right. Linda raised her eyebrows. I treated her fine. She was the one making a fuss over a tiny piece of fish. I took a slow breath. Linda, it wasn't just a fish. It's how you've treated me since I joined this family. I felt unwelcome and disrespected. Linda scoffed. You're just sensitive. I'm honest. If you take offense, that's your issue. Alex's voice hardened. It becomes your issue when it affects our marriage. If this continues, we'll have to limit our visits. Linda's face twisted. So you're threatening me in my own home? No, Mom, Alex said calmly. We're trying to create peace. We want you in our lives, but not at the cost of constant tension. Just then, Aunt Marie stepped in from the kitchen. Linda, she said gently, I've seen how you treat Sally. They're right to set boundaries. Linda looked stunned, glancing between us. After a long pause, she said stiffly, if that's what you need. Aunt Marie walked us out afterward, whispering, you did the right thing. This needed to be addressed. As Alex and I drove home, we felt the weight of what happened, but also a sense of strength. Together, we had stood up for our relationship and in doing so began shifting the family dynamics, hopefully for the better. Months rolled by since our confrontation with Linda, and the change in our family dynamics was clear. On our way to the first family gathering at a local community center, a neutral ground where Linda had less control, I noticed the ease with which Alex spoke about his mother. You know, he said, I never realized how stressed I was about Mom's behavior until we faced it head-on. Now it feels like I can breathe easier. I feel the same, I replied, looking out the window. It had been a tough journey, but I was proud of us for how we handled it. The atmosphere at the gathering was noticeably lighter. Relatives mingled, laughing and chatting without the usual tension. Linda arrived, her demeanor subdued, and for the first time, she greeted me without a hint of disdain. I brought some of your favorite treats, I said. Linda offered a small olive branch. I accepted it with a nod and a thank you. As we sat down for dinner, the conversation flowed more freely than I had experienced in years. Alex's cousin Tom leaned over the table, whispering loud enough for a few heads to turn. You two really shook things up. It's a nice change. Alex laughed. A genuine sound. Yeah, it was about time. We all deserve to enjoy this gathering. Driving home, Alex reached over to squeeze my hand. Today was good. I think we're moving in the right direction. I agree, I replied, feeling a sense of accomplishment. We've come a long way, not just with your mom but with each other. Standing up for our marriage has made us stronger. Alex nodded, the streetlights flickering over his thoughtful face. It's not going to be perfect overnight, but it's a start, a good one. As we pulled into our driveway, the feeling of a fresh start was notable. We had not only navigated a difficult family conflict, but had come out stronger on the other side. Future challenges would likely arise, but with our newfound strength and understanding, we felt ready to face them together with cautious optimism. About what lay ahead? That's the end of our story. Now I have a question for you all. How would you handle a situation where a family member consistently disrespects you in front of others? Would you confront them or choose peace over conflict? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this story insightful, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.